She texted, "My ex says you're too basic for the life I want, and honestly, he's right." I didn't argue. I just replied, "Good to know." I stayed quiet for a few days, didn't block her, didn't confront her, didn't react. Then one afternoon, she walked into the cafe, and the moment she saw who was sitting across from me, her smile died instantly. I'm Owen, 30, and I'd been dating Gabrielle for about 7 months when everything went sideways. We met through a dating app, had that immediate chemistry everyone talks about, moved from texting to daily phone calls to spending most weekends together within the first month. She was ambitious, beautiful, worked in event planning for high-end corporate clients. I'm in software development, make decent money, live a comfortable but not extravagant life. I thought we balanced each other well. The problem started around month 5. Gabrielle's ex, some guy named Preston who worked in finance, started appearing more frequently in our conversations. Preston used to take me to this restaurant. Preston knew the owner of that club. Preston's new girlfriend just posted from the Maldives. At first, I figured she was just processing the past relationship, then the comparisons became more pointed. Preston always wore designer suits to events. You should think about upgrading your wardrobe. Or, Preston's apartment had a view of the river. Your place is nice, but it's pretty basic. Basic. That word came up a lot. I tried not to let it bother me. Everyone has insecurities. Everyone compares sometimes, but it was constant, this drip feed of being measured against someone else and coming up short. Last Tuesday changed everything. We'd planned to meet for lunch, but she canceled last minute. Said something came up at work. No big deal. Around 3 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from her. "We need to talk about us." I called her immediately. "What's wrong?" "I don't think we should talk on the phone. Can we meet tonight?" "Sure. My place or yours?" "Actually, I think we should take some time apart. I've been thinking a lot about what I want, and I'm not sure we're aligned." Something cold settled in my stomach. Where is this coming from? I ran into Preston today. We had coffee, just talking, nothing weird. But it made me realize I've been settling. Settling. That's not the right word, I mean. Look, you're a great guy. You're kind and reliable and easy to be with. But Preston pointed out that you're kind of basic. And I think he's right. I want someone who matches my lifestyle, my ambitions. I want someone who pushes me to be better. And I don't do that? Not in the way I need, I'm sorry. We talked for another 10 minutes, but the conversation was circular. She'd made up her mind. She said she needed space to figure out what she really wants. I said fine. We hung up. 20 minutes later, she texted, "My ex says you're too basic for the life I want, and honestly, he's right." I stared at that message for a long time. She'd texted it like an afterthought, like a PS on a breakup she'd already delivered verbally. Like she wanted to make absolutely sure I understood I wasn't enough, I replied. "Good to know." She sent back, "I hope we can still be friends eventually." I didn't respond to that. Here's what I didn't tell Gabriel. Preston and I had mutual acquaintances. Not friends exactly, but people who floated in both our circles through work events and industry mixers. And I knew things about Preston things. Gabrielle apparently didn't. I also knew Gabrielle's sister, Lauren. We'd met a few times at family dinners, and she'd always seemed skeptical of Gabrielle's choices. After the breakup text, I did something I'm not entirely proud of, but don't regret. I texted Lauren, "Hey, this is Owen. Gabrielle and I just broke up. Thought you should know in case she mentions it." Lauren responded within minutes. "What happened?" She said I'm too basic. Her ex apparently helped her realize it. Preston? Oh God, that idiot is back in the picture? Seems like it. I'm sorry, Owen. For what it's worth, you're way better than that guy. He's all flash and no substance. Good to know. Thanks for saying that. Listen, you know they never really stopped talking, right? My hands went cold. What? Preston. He kept texting her throughout your relationship. She'd show me sometimes, say it was just friendly catching up. I told her it was inappropriate, But she blew me off. Did she ever meet up with him before? Probably, I don't know for sure. But she'd mentioned seeing him at events or running into him randomly. Too many coincidences. We texted for another hour. Lauren told me everything. How Gabriel had never really gotten over Preston, how she'd compared every boyfriend to him for 3 years, how she'd convinced herself he was her soulmate, despite him treating her terribly. He'd canceled dates last minute, forgot her birthday twice, cheated on her with a coworker. But he drove a Porsche and took her to nice places, so she forgave everything. "Why are you telling me this?" I asked. "Because you deserve to know the truth. And because my sister needs a reality check. Preston's going to hurt her again, and when he does, she needs to see it coming." I thanked Lauren, and we left it at that. For the next 3 days, I didn't contact Gabrielle, didn't block her, didn't post on social media, didn't do anything dramatic, just went about my life, work, gym, normal routine. But I was thinking, planning. Update 1. Friday morning, I got coffee with someone from my network, Jessica, who runs a boutique marketing firm and happens to know Preston through business circles. We'd been acquaintances for about a year, occasionally grabbed coffee to talk shop. "How's life?" she asked, as we settled into our usual cafe, a trendy spot in the arts district. "Interesting. Recently single." "Oh no, what happened?" I gave her the abbreviated version. She winced. "Preston Chen, the finance guy? You know him?" "Unfortunately, he's a walking red flag. Charms everyone, drops them the second someone shinier comes along. He's currently dating someone he met at a yacht party, but that won't last either, it never does with him." "Wait, he's dating someone?" "As of last week, yeah. Some influencer type. Why?" "Because my ex just broke up with me to get back with him. Or at least, that's the vibe I got." Jessica pulled out her phone, scrolled through Instagram, showed me a photo posted 3 days ago. Preston on a boat with a blonde woman who definitely wasn't Gabrielle. The caption, "Perfect day with my perfect girl." "He's playing her," Jessica said. "Classic Preston move. He keeps women on rotation, tells each one they're special, juggles them all until someone calls him out, or he gets bored." "Does Gabrielle know?" "I doubt it. He's good at compartmentalizing." An idea formed. "Jessica, you want to do something kind of petty?" "Always. What are we thinking?" "Gabrielle doesn't know I know you. If I happened to be having coffee with someone when she coincidentally showed up here, it might create an interesting situation." "You want to make her jealous?" "I want to show her that basic men have options too, and I want her to see it before Preston inevitably shatters her illusions." Jessica grinned. "I'm in. When?" We made a plan. Update 2. Gabrielle had a favorite cafe in the city. Not the one Jessica and I usually met at, but one in a trendier neighborhood she'd dragged me to at least a dozen times. She went there every Saturday around 2 p.m., usually to work on her laptop or meet friends Saturday at 1:45. Jessica and I walked into that cafe. We ordered drinks, took a table by the window, started talking about work stuff, but in a way that could look like a date to anyone watching. Jessica's good at this. She's charming, animated, laughs easily. To an outsider, especially an ex-girlfriend, we'd look like we were having an excellent time. At 2:07, Gabrielle walked in. She was with 2 friends, all 3 of them dressed in that effortless, expensive way she'd perfected. They were laughing about something, not paying attention to the rest of the cafe. Then she saw me. I caught the exact moment. Her eyes swept the room, landed on me, widened slightly. Then she saw Jessica. Saw me lean in to say something. Saw Jessica touch my arm while laughing. Saw me smile in a way I probably hadn't smiled in months. Her face went through several expressions rapidly. Surprise, confusion, something that looked like hurt, then forced neutrality. She said something to her friends, who immediately turned to look at me. I waved casually. Gabrielle didn't wave back. She approached our table. I'd been expecting this. "Owen, hi." "Hey, Gabrielle, how are you?" "Good. I'm good. I didn't know you came here." "I don't usually." Jessica suggested it. I gestured to Jessica, who smiled politely. Gabrielle, meet Jessica. Jessica, this is Gabrielle. We used to date. Nice to meet you, Jessica said, extending a hand. Gabrielle shook it mechanically. How long have you two been? Gabrielle's voice trailed off. About a year, Jessica said smoothly. We're friends from work, grab coffee pretty regularly. Owen's been a great sounding board for some projects I'm working on. The implication hung there, that I'd had this entire friendship, this connection, during my relationship with Gabriel, that my life didn't begin and end with her. Oh, that's great. Gabriel looked at me, trying to read something in my expression. I kept it neutral, pleasant. Can I talk to you for a second, privately? Sure, I turned to Jessica. Be right back. We stepped outside. Gabrielle crossed her arms, defensive. So you're dating already? It's been less than a week. I'm having coffee with a friend. That didn't look like just friends. Gabrielle, you broke up with me because I'm too basic for your life. Why do you care who I have coffee with? I don't, I didn't think you'd move on so fast. I haven't moved on. I'm having coffee with someone I've known for a year, who, by the way, thinks I'm perfectly adequate for her life. That's not fair. What's not fair? You said I wasn't enough, I accepted that. Now I'm living my life. That's how breakups work. Who is she really? I told you, a friend. Someone who values me for who I am, not for who she wishes I was. Gabrielle's eyes got shiny. This feels cruel. Cruel would be me telling you that Preston's currently posting yacht photos with another woman while he's stringing you along. But I won't say that, because I'm too basic to be vindictive. Her face went white. What are you talking about? Check his Instagram, or don't. Either way, it's not my problem anymore. I went back inside. Jessica looked up, concerned. Everything okay? Perfect. Let's finish our coffee. Through the window, I watched Gabrielle pull out her phone, scroll frantically, then show something to her friends. All three of them looked upset. One put an arm around her. They left without ordering anything. Update 3. That evening, Lauren texted me. Gabrielle just called me crying. Said she saw you with another woman and looked up Preston's Instagram. What happened? I told her about the cafe encounter. Lauren sent back a laughing emoji followed by, That's amazing. She needed that reality check Preston's been playing her since the breakup. She just refused to see it. How's she doing? Devastated, but also angry. At Preston mostly. At herself a little. At you for moving on so fast, even though she's the one who ended it. The coffee thing wasn't serious. Jessica's just a friend who helped me make a point I know, but Gabrielle doesn't. And honestly, let her think whatever she wants. She needs to sit with her choices for a while. Sunday morning, Gabrielle called me. I let it go to voicemail. She called again an hour later. I answered, Owen, we need to talk. About what? About everything. About what happened yesterday, about Preston. About us. There is no us. I made a mistake. I know that now. Preston was he was this fantasy I kept alive in my head, but being with you was real. It was good. I threw it away for something that never existed. You're right. You did. Can we try again? Please? I know I hurt you, but I understand now what I had, what I lost. Gabrielle, you didn't just hurt me. You told me I wasn't enough, that I was too basic for the life you wanted. You compared me to your ex constantly. You made me feel like a placeholder until something better came along. And then, the second your ex paid attention to you again, you dumped me over the phone. I know, and I'm so sorry. Your apology doesn't change how I feel, which is that I deserve someone who doesn't see me as a consolation prize. Is this about that woman, Jessica? This is about me finally having enough self-respect to walk away from someone who doesn't respect me. I do respect you. No, you don't. You respect what I can provide when nothing better's available? That's not respect. That's convenience. She started crying. So that's it? You're just done? I've been done since you texted me that I'm too basic. You were done first. I'm just catching up. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. You meant every word. And honestly, thank you for being honest. You freed me from wasting more time on someone who was never going to see me as enough. I hung up. She called back twice. I didn't answer. Final update. It's been 6 weeks. Gabrielle stopped trying to contact me after that last call. I heard through Lauren that she and Preston tried to make things work for about 2 weeks before he ghosted her for his yacht influencer girlfriend. Gabrielle's apparently been focusing on herself and learning from her mistakes, which feels like code for alone and regretting her choices. Jessica and I are still friends. The cafe thing was petty, we both know it, but she said it was the most fun she'd had in months. Sometimes people need to see what they're missing, she said, and sometimes they need to see that you're fine without them. I've been dating some, nothing serious yet, but I'm not settling for anyone who makes me feel inadequate. Life's too short to be with someone who's constantly measuring you against their ex. Lauren and I get coffee occasionally now. She apologized for her sister's behavior, said Gabrielle's always had a pattern of idealizing unavailable men and dismissing the ones who actually care. You dodged a bullet, she said last week. Eventually she'll figure out that Preston types will never give her what she wants. But that's her lesson to learn. I ran into Gabrielle 2 weeks ago at a work event. She looked uncomfortable, tried to avoid eye contact. I waved politely, didn't approach her, went about my evening. Later, I saw her watching me talk to people, laugh with colleagues, exist perfectly fine without her in my life. Some people think I was cruel with the cafe setup, that I should have just moved on quietly without staging an encounter. Maybe they're right. But here's what I learned. When someone tells you you're not enough, sometimes you need to show them and yourself that you're more than enough, just not for them. Gabrielle wanted someone flashy, someone who looked good on paper, someone who matched her image of success. She got that with Preston, and it fell apart exactly like everyone predicted. Meanwhile, I'm here, still basic, still living my regular life, still perfectly content with who I am. The coffee shop encounter wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming my sense of self-worth after months of being made to feel less than. It was about showing her that men she considers basic have options, connections, lives that don't revolve around her validation. And honestly, it felt good. Not because I hurt her, but because I reminded both of us that I have value, that I'm worth more than being someone's backup plan. She texted me last night. I really am sorry. I hope you know that. I thought about responding, thought about saying something gracious or final or cutting. Instead, I just deleted the message and went back to living my life. Some apologies are too late. Some bridges, once burned, aren't worth rebuilding, and some people only realize what they had when they see you moving on without them. Good to know.